Hello and welcome to Bangladesh Today. We have with us Colonel Ashok Tara of the Indian Army, who was in the thick of the battle for Dhaka during the 1971 Liberation War. Colonel Tara personally rescued Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rehman's family, including the present Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, from Pakistani forces who had imprisoned the family. For his unmatched contribution to the country's future, he was awarded the Friends of Bangladesh Award in December 2012. Colonel Ashok Tara, welcome to the show. I'd like to begin by asking you to recount your experiences of that cold winter day in December 1971.
The whole episode which you asked me is very clear to me. On 16 December 71, the Pak Army surrendered to Indian Army. On 17 December, I was at airport Dhaka along with my other officers, and lot of senior people, civilian as well as the army officers were landing on helicopter. During that time,
they were coming from India?
India or all over Bangladesh also, some leader from Bangladesh. At 9 o'clock in the morning, a Mukti Wahini rep came and he told my CO that Mujibur Rehman's family is under arrest and could be eliminated anytime as they had the knowledge about this. I was immediately told to go and see and sort out the situation. At that time,
you were told by your div commander?
By my commanding officer, VK Channa. And I had other officers, Shanti Khanna and Omi Kohli. They were also present that time.
So three of you went to rescue?
We were there, no, and at airport.
Okay.
At airport, then I was called by my commanding officer and told me to go along with the rep of Mukti Wahini and see and sort out the situation. At that time, people not realize the sensitivity of the situation. I took two Jawan and the guide and moved towards that house. When I was about 100 yards away from the house, there was a big crowd of Mukti Wahini, local, other people who stopped me and told me that if you go ahead, they will fire and kill you. I just thought for some time and gave my weapon to my Jawan and told them to stay there. I moved alone toward their house.
By they, you mean Pakistani forces who had imprisoned the family?
Yeah.
They still didn't know that they had lost the war and their army had surrendered?
No, so far I know, they did not know, because later on we came to know about this.
Okay.
They told me that if you go ahead, they will fire in Pakistani soldiers, and they showed me a car, bullet ridden with a dead body. They say this vehicle went in the morning toward the house and they fired and killed this person. However, after handing over my weapon, I moved towards the car. When I reached near a car, I saw a dead body, but I shouted and said, "Koi hai?" There was no response from them. However, I slowly and steadily moving toward the house. When I was about 10 yards away.
Was this house fortified? Were there soldiers around?
I'll show you. Then when I was 10 yards away, they shouted, "Stop, go back, otherwise they'll fire."
Okay.
They shouted from the house, which is fortified with bunkers. There were two bunkers on the roof, one bunker at the gate, and one bunker on the other side of the wall, which was partially visible. But I carried on moving towards the gate.
You were alone and there were so many soldiers inside. Was that a smart thing to do?
No. You see, at that time...
And you were unarmed?
I was unarmed, and that particular time, it did not come in my mind. Only was the commitment to rescue this family was in my mind. I knew those people were frontier force. They didn't know much English. They knew Punjabi or few words of local language.
Could you speak Punjabi?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I understood, and I started talking to them in Punjabi, come few words of English. And I told them, if they don't surrender, they would be killed by the Muktiwani. The reason is, I have, as an army officer, in the Indian army officer, in Punjabi, I told them कि मैं हिंदुस्तान का फौजी अफसर आपके सामने बिना हथियार के आया हूँ, और इसका मतलब है कि हिंदुस्तानी फौज ढाका के अंदर आ गई है, और मैं आपको बचाने के लिए आया हूँ कि अगर आप सरेंडर कर देते हैं तो आपको मैं जहाँ आपने जाना है या आपके हेडक्वार्टर में ठीक से पहुँचा दूँगा. They did not blame me. They said, no, we asked our seniors about this. I knew that once I give the time, there will be break in conversation and things could be different.
Okay, so they were trying to call your bluff if you were lying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But however, there was this noise from inside the building. You don't give them time, they will kill us.
Oh, this is the family of Mujibur Rehman.
Yeah.
Okay, they were calling out to you.
Yeah, I was at the gate.
Why did they say that? Was there any intelligence info that they had that they would be killed?
I think that their experience, and the previous night there was some attempt on their life, but they could not succeed.
Did you know how many people were there of the family inside?
Family about 6 to 7 people.
Okay.
There.
All right, go ahead, Colonel. What happened?
Mrs. Mujib Rehman was there, the present Prime Minister there, Hasina, and that younger sister Rehana, the Prime Minister, 3 months old son, and their uncle and auntie were there.
Okay.
When I went inside, that is there. When I was talking to them, there was a sentry about 18 years old at the gate.
That's all?
No.
This young sentry, and he had a gun pointed towards him.
His rifle with the bayonet were touching more or less my body, because I was holding at the gate. And the commander on the post told me to go back. We don't accept your statement, and will fire, otherwise don't go. Fortunately, that time one of Indian helicopter flew over the building. Then I indicated them that look at that helicopter.
Indian Army helicopter.
Have you ever seen? I said, all lines are cut off. Your seniors officers, they are surrendered. Only I can save you if you surrender to me. Otherwise, Muktiwani people or other people can come and kill you. You have got a family in Pakistan and they are waiting for you. Otherwise, you will stay here and only God knows. However, with more talks like that, I was able to influence them and they agreed. During that time, when the talk was going on, the sentry at the gate was about 18 years old boy. He was shivering. His rifle was more or less touching me, the bayonet, because he never saw an Indian Army officer in front of me so close.
Okay.
So I very quietly and smoothly pushed the rifle one side, thinking that by mistake on the shove with this thing, he may not press the trigger. So, however, they agreed, they came down, and I sent them in my vehicle to the headquarters. When I opened the door, the Mrs. Mujibur Rehman, he embraced me and told that you are my son, sent by the God to save us. So that's why I entered. And during that time, somebody indicated me the Pakistani flag on the roof. I went immediately on the roof, threw the Pakistani flag on the ground and put the Bangladesh flag on the roof. And during that time, when I thrown the flag, Mrs. Mujibur Rehman put her foot and crushed it and said, "Joy, Bangla." That was the happiness and achievement of the people after rescuing that family.
Colonel, you used a combination of Psy war as well as a force multiplier, isn't it? I mean, you managed to convince those people. You were unarmed, you were one person, whereas they were so many of them and they were armed. But you managed to convince them. How far does that play? You know, did that play a role in getting the family rescued?
I tell you, I feel this was a battle of guts and wits. And from very beginning, I had decided to dominate by talk. I knew by any operation I will not be successful. With that determination, I went and able to convince them, because all the soldiers were suffering since long, and the weakness in their family and hometown.
The Pakistani soldiers.
Pakistanis. Therefore, I played on it and stayed with guts. I knew that I have got stronger willpower and determination than my enemy.
And you promised them safety and a safe passage back. Was that fructified? Did they get a safe passage back?
Yeah, they agree, and I'm committed, and I ensure it they reach back. As an Indian Army officer, I kept my promise.
See, the reason I'm asking that is because the Pakistani army has been accused of genocide out there, having killed hundreds of thousands of people, raped women, orphaned children out there in Bangladesh. Despite that, the Indian Army promised a safe passage back for the prisoners of war, for the Pakistani soldiers. Did it get the support of the Mukti Bahini, of the locals out there, to allow the Pakistanis army back safely?
You see, the vehicle which I sent is an Indian Army vehicle, and they were kept inside. So I don't think so much people knew that the Pakistanis are in the vehicle. The secondly, my training, my teaching, my culture of Indian Army, they never taught us to misbehave as the Pakistani did it. And one of the reasons of Pakistan Army's failure or losing the war is that they lost the basic discipline and culture which Army taught.
You're a second generation soldier. The rescue of Sheikh Hasina and the rest of the family was a completely bloodless operation. Tell me, as a soldier, is that something that is the first thing that you would do, a bloodless operation as far as possible?
No, it is all depends upon the opportunity and the commitment at particular time. Such type of operation cannot be preconceived, because this more is a psychology, as I said, it's a battle of guts and wits. At particular moment, how one behaves on that particular time and how enemy behaves, it all depends on it.
You were also awarded the Veer Chakra for the Ganga Sagar operation. Could you tell us something more about that, with what happened in that operation?
This Ganga Sagar railway station was behind the side and behind of the enemy position opposite Col Tara. And we went, it was a unique attack. It was not like a normal attack. We went along single line, along the railway line, to enter the Pakistani defensive position. They never realized that ever any army can come in single line along the railway line to attack, because rest of the area was mined and well defended. This is the only approach where we found that some weak defenses. This was a basically hand-to-hand fight, combat fight, where even the dead body was fallen, one of the dead body was fallen on me when I had to fight with the people. And in this battle, we got one PVC, that is Al-Badika, and one VRC, which I got as Alpha Company commander.
Was he also in the Alpha Company?
No, he was a Bravo Company.
He was Bravo Company. Okay. And you met with Sheikh Hasina recently when you got the award from Bangladesh. What was that meeting like? What did you discuss with her?
it was like a dream. I never expected, after a gap of so many years, that I will be able to meet her as a Prime Minister. And I tell you very frankly, when I met, though she was the Prime Minister, she is the Prime Minister, but I told her, the younger sister also, that you are like my sister. And I have not come here to meet the honorary Prime Minister of a country, but you called me as a brother. So this is with a feeling we went, and she talked very personally and casually with me and with my wife, and especially with my wife. She was a little more open than me.
Okay. The Indian Army never really gave you a gallantry award for this operation of saving Sheikh Hasina, her son, her mother, her other relatives who were there. Did that hurt in any manner?
Yeah. The reason is, with the great victory, the people forgotten that the victory is based on this. And sensitivity of this operation, I think Indian Army and the government not realize, if the Pakistan soldier had killed these families, the history and the relation of two countries will be different. And secondly, this could have been a black spot on the victory of the army as well as the government. But I think they have their own priorities, their own importance. They are not bothered or even acknowledge this thing. I feel regret. I feel sorry for the people.
Yeah. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.